Kicking off, we're looking at some stuff from the world of Warhammer 40,000. So the big news is that today, at some point, probably right now, at this very second, there are the pre-orders going live for the new codices, or codexes, as Games Workshop like to refer to them as, for some more chapters in the Space Marine arsenal. So you've got new codexes coming out for the Iron Hands and the Raven Guard. So you've got your emo boys and your mechanics who love bionics. So some really awesome stuff there. This also comes alongside some new models and things. So we've got 2 upgrade kits as well. So both of the different chapters are going to have a bunch of shoulder pads, heads, weapons, and accessories that you can
Beaky
use.
helmets, Ben.
Yeah, so you can use them alongside your rest of your Primaris stuff. It's all scaled to that, which is really, really cool. Bring back the beaky helmets, as they say, and some awesome looking stuff as well there. I love the fact that the Iron Hands have got loads of bionics in there. Wish there was a few more bionics, maybe bionic legs and that kind of thing. That could have been cool, but that's something maybe you can get in and convert yourself up potentially, which is very cool. And on top of that, there's 2 new characters as well. So we've got 2 leaders for both the Iron Hands and the Raven Guard. You've got Kavan Shrike, who we saw a little while ago, one of the previews that they did at a different event. And we also have Malkan Ferios, who is the leader of the Iron Hands there as well. So you've got a big badass guy there with his awesome looking shoulder mounted heavy bolter that's going to be sort of raining death on everything. And he also has his massive cog axe as well there, so they can chop through enemies at the same time, which I thought was very cool. On top of that as well, they are also going to be releasing some new stuff for just the general Primaris Space Marine range. So we've seen these before as well, but we've got the Phobos Lieutenant coming back, who looks very, very cool. And we've also got the Eliminators. So if you want to include some snipers into your force, you've got the option there as well. So yeah, lots of stuff coming for Space Marines, and it's another step in the direction to sort of covering pretty much every chapter that Games Workshop have made in the past. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing things like Space Wolves and Blood Angels and Dark Angels very, very soon as well.
Yeah, so, yeah, can I ask then, from my esteemed colleagues here, can somebody give me a little bit of background on the Iron Hands and the Raven Guard? Do we?
Well, the Raven Guard are kind of a spec ops kind of Space Marine chapter, so they're very much into just shadow tactics, fighting behind the lines. You know, not very much.
They're a successor chapter, are they?
No. They're these are both original chapters, Raven Guard and Iron Hands, if I remember right, Jerry.
I didn't think they were. Iron Hand's first founding, but I don't think Raven Guard are, unless they retconned it.
No, Raven Guard, our first founding, Corvus Corax was their Primarch, if I remember right.
Okay.
Could be.
Because I remember there was a Horus Heresy novel where the Raven Guard had got decimated. The Emperor gave their Primarch access to his gene tech to actually help their Primarch rebuild the numbers of the Raven Guard.
Yeah.
And then the Alpha Legion came in, mucked up the data, stole the data, and then the Raven Guard had tons of mutants being made.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, so the neophytes would grow into Space Marines super quickly.
Yeah.
But then they would degenerate.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty. I take it the chapter has recovered since then.
Yeah, they're still about today.
They just now kind of degenerate into, well, emo degenerates.
The Iron Hands, on the other hand, they're...
Is the motto then for the Raven Guard? It's so unfair.
No, Warren, that's too much effort. It's Iron Hands, on the other hand, they're very much into their bionics, into interring Space Marines and dreadnoughts and stuff.
Yeah.
So I am hoping to see that they're maybe allowed to take extra dreadnoughts and things in their list, because it's sort of a part of their backstory. Other than that, I don't really know too much about them.
Yeah, well, we will find out more now when the Codex drops.
I like the look of the snipers, though, specifically.
The snipers are great, but the Space Marine snipers have always been beautiful models.
So these are full Space Marine snipers now, though, instead of Scout snipers.
Yeah,
although Scout snipers are still vicious.
Yeah,
this is one of the interesting things that's come up with a lot of this stuff, because obviously we're seeing a lot of this move towards Primarising. That's now a word. Yeah. All of the Space Marine range, and so what would traditionally have been scouts, they still exist obviously within the lore and everything, and they're included in the codexes and stuff, but they're not necessarily part of like the way that we now see the Primaris. And so it's going to be really interesting seeing how that works when it comes to certain chapters that relied heavily on them. So for example, Black Templars had the neophytes, so they were the sort of the guys that were training up to become Space Marines and fought alongside their Black Templar brothers and stuff like that. And then you've got Space Wolves, who had their scouts as the older Space Marines who have sort of gone off and done something else as veterans. So it's going to be really interesting seeing what they do there. Maybe we get new models, perhaps, for both of these things to try and sort of cut down on the scouts and sort of bring something new into the fold would be kind of interesting. So, yeah.
Well, the other big news, Ben, was the Psychic Awakening in the new Eldari.
Yeah, so this was another thing that came out this week, and this was a first look at the prophecy that will herald what's coming in this new campaign that we talked about a little bit before on the weekend. So there's going to be a new massive campaign that involves all the different factions of Warhammer 40,000. It's going to be a little bit more grimdark than it already is, which is kind of interesting. So this first prophecy hinted at something potentially nasty coming back. So Slanesh in some form returning to the world of Warhammer 40,000. We've already seen him or her or it coming back to the world of Age of Sigmar. And so now it'll be really interesting to see how that sort of clashes with how the Eldar are set up right now, or the Eldari, sorry. So one of the big things is that we're going to be seeing the Aspect Warriors coming back. So one of the big focuses of the new first book in this campaign is going to be about the Phoenix Warriors and that kind of thing. So we got to see some models for the Howling Banshees. So we got a Howling Banshee Exile there in plastic, as well as something that's a little bit different as well. So Howling Banshees have been sort of traditionally female, but within Eldar society, males can also become Howling Banshees. And so that's what you see with the second image there, which is actually for a Ynnari Exarch. So a Ynnari are effectively Eldar that have become fed up with Eldrad Ulthuan and his failure to effectively save the Eldar race. And so now they have turned their attention to a new god, the god of death, which has been summoned forth in the form of the Yin Khan, which you hopefully see in a different link, hopefully. And so this was all the stuff that happened in the Black Crusade and everything before all the crazy stuff happened with 40k moving into 8th edition. So there's an entirely new sect of Eldar within the Eldar as a whole who have sort of brought together Dark Eldar, all sorts of different things. And so there's going to be these two different warring factions fighting for control of the Eldar and sort of keeping them alive and hopefully taking down Slanesh as well, which would be quite interesting.
Wow.
The sculpt on this is crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah, it needs shot in the face immediately.
I accept this logic, Jerry, completely. Wow.
Yes, we need to kill that with fire.
But it's already on fire.
Okay. So when are we expecting that to drop, Ben?
So it should be in the next couple of weeks, maybe in the next couple of months. As I say, it's going to be a really big, long-running thing. So the focus is going to be on this being lots of different books that will start to serve each of the different factions and bring new models into the fold. So the first one seems to be very heavily focused towards the Eldar. But hopefully we're going to see some stuff in the future for the likes of the Orcs, potentially as well.
Yeah.
Necrons seem like a big force that could be involved in something like this. Would be kind of interesting. So, yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Spoilers, Eldrad Ulthuan was right the whole time. They'll get to the end and he'll go. You see now why I said not to do that.
And I am wondering, like, how much more grimdark can it get?
Well, none more grimdark, really.
That's what I thought. I would have thought it could get no more grimdark.
What, have they reached absolute dark?
It's
now that the Raven Guard are here, they've reached absolute dark.
I think the Raven Guard really did say that this is as dark as it can ever be. So
Vanta Black, that's it.
I do hope that they actually go back and release some models they need to release for the Eldar, though, because Warp Spiders are still using the same metal sculpts from. Do
you know what?
91, something like that.
As are all of the Exarchs.
Yeah, and all the Exarchs, which are so, there's tiny, fat, stumpy sculpts compared to the new stuff. Whereas that's, I think, the sixth variation of the Howling Banshees.
Well, I was just about to say this on those Howling Banshees, is that I can't particularly see much difference between them and the last batch of Howling Banshees.
I could line up 5 different generations of Howling Banshees, and all they've done is get slightly taller and thinner.
Yeah. Like there's nothing, and you know, and it says a lot for Jez's style choices on the Eldar. The fact that there doesn't seem to be you don't a lot that you can change in it. That they are just beautiful, but I don't see there's nothing there that would strike me the way, for example, the Primaris compared to a Space Marine.
Yeah, it's instantly different.
Not just because of the size. There's a lot about the Primaris versus the Space Marine that is different in its visual impact. But here I don't see that, and that's fine. But like you say, there's a lot of models there that I would love to have seen something done for.
And they're missing a trick because there are other companies out there doing essentially the Phoenix Lords. So Artel do the Phoenix Lords, and they do them beautifully because GW haven't bothered in 20 odd years, more than 20 years since
those came out. 91, that's around 30-year mark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at that point, it's just embarrassing.